Hello world! Today I'm going to talk about how you can adjust the rear spring preload on Kawasaki Vulcan 900. I will also talk a bit how the spring preload works. I hope it is going to be helpful to those who already have a Vulcan 900 or someone who's planning to buy one. This is Max, welcome to my channel. Let's talk about how to make an adjustment first. I will talk about how rear suspension and preload work in the second half of the video, so keep watching. These are all the tools you'll need to make the work done. First, Phillips screwdriver, just regular one, Allen key 4mm, Allen key 5mm, and a hook wrench. This motorcycle comes with 2 hook wrenches. They're in the toolkit. We're going to be using this one. We will also use the extension bar and another key as an extension bar as well to make it easier to turn the adjuster. You'll see it's not that easy, so we will need this extension. As always, I secure the motorcycle on the level surface, so it is easier to work on it. I use my $20 jack for that, so let's do it. So the link to the video showing how I did the jack is at the top of the screen, top right corner, as well as in the description below. Check it out. First, we need to get access to the spring adjuster. Vulcan 900 has one shock absorber with a spring, and it is here in the middle of the bike, so you need to get access to it. First, we need to remove the seat using the bike key. It might be a little bit tricky depending on what kind of seat you have, so it may feel stuck so you cannot unlock it. What you're going to do, you need to put your knee on the passenger seat and push it down with your weight while you turn the key. And it's easy to unlock it this way, so we can take the seat off. Then we remove the left side cover, this one. In order to do it, we need to remove the screw here at the top. Then we pull this cover carefully this way. It's holding on kind of 3 studs or like clips in the rubber bushings. Just pull them this way. That's it. Now we remove the reservoir tank cover, this one. For that, we need to remove this bolt. Using Allen screwdriver, also called hexagon driver. So it's a 4mm. We pull the cover from the bike this way. Done. Then we need to remove the reservoir tank. For that, we'll need to unscrew these 2 bolts using Allen key 5mm. Alright, done. Here is a little trick that makes it easier to work. When you remove the reservoir tank, hook this under part of the reservoir tank on the holder of the frame, this one. So we don't need to take it down, we just allow it to kind of hang this way. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do me a favor. Click the subscribe button right here, hit the bell notification icon so you're not gonna miss any of my videos. Also, if you like my video, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment or ask a question. I would really appreciate it. The rear shock absorber spring preload adjuster, this one, has 7 positions, where the first one, like it's kind of on the back or on this side, is the least strong, and the 7th one, this one, is the strongest. The standard setting position is number 4, like right here. For an average build rider, about 68 kilograms or 150 pounds, with no passenger and no accessories. This is according to the owner's manual. I guess they were just kidding saying that the average build rider is 150 pounds. I consider myself average build, and but I weigh like 83, 84 kilograms, or about 183, 185 pounds. Considering that, I had to adjust it almost right away. Also, I ride a lot with my wife, and I have some accessories as well, such as saddlebags, back press, and rear rack. Because of all of that, I adjusted it to the preload 6 almost right away. Right now I changed it to 5 so I can show you how to adjust it. I actually tried riding with my wife on the number 4 setting, and my rear suspension bottomed down on the first railway crossing, so I came back and adjusted right away. What I would recommend is to try it on different position and see how it works for you. But definitely, if you're more than 68 kilograms, do the adjustment sooner than later. Now we will use the hook wrench that comes with the motorcycle to turn the preload adjuster. This is how you do it. Adjust the preload as you desire. I will adjust it to 6, maybe 7. Let's do it. And 7. The spring on the shock is pretty strong, so it's not easy to turn the adjuster, but I made it. Here is a little bit closer view of the adjuster, so you can see it's on the top one, number 7. Now, as we adjusted the spring preload, we can assemble everything back together in the reverse order. So we'll screw the reservoir back. Sit back. And that's it. We're all done with the spring adjustment. Now let's talk about how the rear suspension and the rear spring preload work on Vulcan 900, or pretty much on any other bike. What is preload to begin with? Before we talk about preload, let's talk about the spring rate first. So what we have here, we have a shock with a spring, and this is our adjuster. A spring rate is the figure measured in kilograms per millimeter or pound per inch that shows how much weight we should apply at the top of the spring to compress it 1 unit of length. Basically, that means we need to apply force of 10 kilograms in this case to compress the spring by only 1 millimeter. For example, on Kawasaki Vulcan 900, the length of the spring on the assembled shock is about 8.5 inches or 215 millimeters. The spring rate is about 500 to 550 pounds per inch or 9 to 10 kilograms per millimeter. That means that we need to apply 10 kilograms at the top of the spring to compress it by 1 millimeter. The travel of the spring on Vulcan 900 is about 2 inches or 50 millimeters. This is how much it can be compressed the most. It happens when the wheel travels 4 inches or about 100 millimeters. So the travel of the wheel, of the rear wheel, is about 4.06 inches. Now let's talk about the preload. Preload is a measurement of how much the spring is mechanically compressed, already compressed, when the shock is fully extended. So by turning this adjuster, we compress the spring. That's why we call it preload adjustment. And sorry guys, I'm gonna use millimeters from now on, as it is easier for me just to talk about millimeters. When we adjust from the position number 1 to position number 7, we adjust by about 14 millimeters. All right? On the standard setting, it's gonna be a number 4. And if the rate is 10 kilograms per millimeter, which means it's going to be adjusted by 7 millimeters, and that means in turn that you would need to exert more than 70 kilograms of force down on the spring in order to begin compressing it. So it's already pre-compressed with equivalent of 70 kilograms. If I apply the weight less than 70 kilograms, the spring will not be further compressed at all. Now we need to apply 80 kilograms of weight in order to compress the spring by 1 millimeter. While the rate remains the same, by adding preload to the spring in your suspension, you're changing how the spring reacts to weight that is applied to it. Whether it be through additional weight of passenger, accessories, rider movements, braking, cornering efforts, or the application of power when you accelerate. What we did in our case, and what you would probably do if you want to adjust to 7, you're gonna move it from setting 4 to setting 7 here by turning it, and actually like on the spring by turning like in this direction. So that means we're gonna preload the spring by roughly another 7 millimeters. So it's gonna go down by 7 millimeters, which means you adjust, you add additional preload around 70 kilograms. This is how it works. On the bike, the calculation is actually not this straightforward because it has a system of various levers and different points of weight application and forces application, the weight is not applied directly to the spring, but that's the topic for another video. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Have an excellent day and ride safe. It was Max. Come back to my channel.